Tesla has long stood as one of the most polarizing and influential corporate forces in the global automotive and energy sectors. For more than a decade, it redefined consumer expectations around electric mobility, challenged legacy automakers to accelerate electrification timelines, and built a brand identity tied to innovation, disruption, and bold long-term industrial ambition. As we step into 2026, every core pillar that carried Tesla through its growth era is undergoing visible structural change, forcing the company to pivot its strategy, operational priorities, and market positioning in ways few analysts anticipated just a few years prior. This deep dive breaks down the critical shifts reshaping Tesla's present trajectory, revisits the foundational drivers of its historic rise, unpacks emerging vulnerabilities that signal potential decline pressure, and maps out the realistic paths the business may follow through the remainder of the decade. To understand why Tesla's future is shifting now, we first need to ground ourselves in the core mechanics that fueled its unprecedented ascent. Unlike traditional car manufacturers that built incremental improvements on century-old manufacturing models, Tesla designed its entire business around vertical integration and software-defined vehicles from its earliest stages. It built its own battery supply chains, engineered proprietary powertrain technology, developed in-house artificial intelligence systems for autonomous driving, and operated a direct-to-consumer sales model that bypassed traditional dealership networks. This holistic approach allowed Tesla to avoid the slow decision-making cycles that burden legacy competitors, iterate quickly on vehicle hardware and software, and capture margins that traditional automakers struggled to replicate. Part of Tesla's rise also stemmed from its ability to redefine public perception of electric vehicles. Before Tesla's mass-market models entered mainstream circulation, electric cars were widely viewed as niche, low-range, short-lived alternatives for eco-conscious early adopters. Tesla repositioned EVs as premium, high-performance technology products that blended luxury features with cutting-edge functionality. Its global supercharger network eliminated range anxiety for millions of drivers, turning one of the biggest barriers to EV adoption into a proprietary competitive advantage. At the same time, the company cultivated a visionary public narrative around sustainable energy transition, tying vehicle sales to broader goals of renewable energy adoption, battery storage deployment, and grid modernization. This narrative attracted long-term institutional investment, loyal retail shareholders, and a global customer base willing to pre-order vehicles years before production began. The early phases of Tesla's growth were defined by overcoming existential challenges, production bottlenecks at its first major mass production factory, supply chain instability, regulatory scrutiny, and sustained skepticism from Wall Street created constant headwinds. Yet each crisis the company navigated reinforced its reputation for resilience and reinforced investor belief in its long-term vision. Gigafactory expansion across multiple continents scaled production capacity dramatically, bringing vehicle prices down to reach broader consumer segments, while software-over-the-air updates allowed Tesla to continuously improve vehicle performance, safety features, and infotainment functionality long after customers took delivery. For years, this flywheel of production scale, software improvement, brand momentum, and charging infrastructure expansion pushed Tesla's market share higher across major automotive markets worldwide. By the mid-2020s, however, the environment that enabled Tesla's rapid rise began to unravel, setting the stage for the strategic shifts we observe in 2026. The first major pressure point comes from intensified global competition in the electric vehicle space. Legacy automakers that once dismissed EV development as secondary are now deploying dedicated electric platforms, global production lines, and aggressive marketing strategies to capture market share. Established European, Asian, and North American brands offer vehicles with comparable range, charging compatibility, advanced driver assistance systems, and lower price points for many consumer segments. Regional EV startups have also emerged with agile product development cycles, tailored local features, and direct-to-consumer sales models that mirror Tesla's core advantages. Tesla no longer operates in a monopolistic EV market. It competes in a crowded global industry where customer choice is expanding rapidly and brand loyalty is becoming less permanent. A second critical shift impacting Tesla's 2026 trajectory centers on autonomous driving development timelines and real-world deployment. For many years, Tesla framed full self-driving capability as its most valuable long-term asset, positioning autonomous ride-hailing networks as a trillion-dollar future revenue stream. The company doubled down on camera-only sensor technology, rejecting LiDAR and high-definition mapping approaches favored by competing autonomous vehicle developers. While Tesla improved its driver assistance software incrementally, widespread regulatory approval for fully autonomous public road operation has moved further from initial projected timelines. Consumer adoption of premium SSED subscription packages has slowed as practical real-world performance gaps persist in complex urban environments, bad weather conditions, and high-traffic scenarios. Without near-term mass commercialization of fully autonomous technology, Tesla faces a revenue growth ceiling it once expected to break through rapidly, forcing the company to adjust financial forecasts and investor messaging around this core growth pillar. Manufacturing and cost structure challenges represent a third major driver of Tesla's 2026 strategic pivot. Tesla built its reputation for production innovation with advanced gigacasting techniques, streamlined assembly lines, and highly automated factory workflows. In recent years, scaling these manufacturing systems to global markets has proven more complex than projected. New regional gigafactories face local regulatory hurdles, workforce training gaps, supply chain localization requirements, and logistical inefficiencies that increase production costs. Vehicle price cuts implemented to maintain market share have compressed gross margins significantly across major product lines. Tesla's long-promised affordable mass-market vehicle has faced repeated delays, creating a gap in its product lineup for price-sensitive mainstream consumers that competitors are quickly filling. Cost reduction efforts now dominate internal operational priorities, shifting Tesla from an expansion-first growth strategy to an efficient-used business model in many key regions. Leadership and corporate governance dynamics are also reshaping Tesla's 2026 direction. Elon Musk's role as public face, chief product visionary, and largest individual shareholder has long been central to Tesla's brand identity and strategic direction. His parallel commitments to other large-scale ventures create divided public attention and limited bandwidth for deep day-to-day operational oversight at Tesla. High-profile public statements, social media activity, and global political commentary have introduced reputational risks that did not exist in earlier growth phases. Institutional investors increasingly push for more traditional corporate governance structures, independent board oversight, and clearer long-term succession planning. This pressure creates internal tension between Tesla's disruptive startup-style culture and the operational rigor required for a mature multinational automotive enterprise, altering how major business decisions are approved and executed. Energy division underperformance adds another layer to Tesla's shifting 2026 outlook. The company built its long-term valuation not only on vehicle sales but also on its integrated energy business, including residential and commercial Powerwall storage systems, megapixel grid-scale storage solutions, and solar energy products. While global demand for stationary battery storage rises steadily amid renewable energy expansion and grid stability needs, Tesla's energy segment growth has lagged behind internal projections. Supply chain constraints for battery cells, regional installation regulatory barriers, competition from dedicated energy storage manufacturers, and inconsistent solar product adoption have limited revenue expansion in this high-margin long-term sector. Tesla must now allocate more capital and strategic focus to revitalize its energy division to deliver on the multi-decade growth investors once priced into the company's valuation. Geopolitical risks and global market fragmentation further accelerate Tesla's 2026 strategic shifts. Trade tensions, evolving regional EV policy frameworks, localized manufacturing mandates, and shifting consumer sentiment across major global markets create uneven growth conditions. Regulatory frameworks around EV incentives, emission standards, battery sourcing requirements, and autonomous vehicle rules differ sharply between North America, Europe, Asia, and emerging markets. Tesla's effortful global product strategy struggles to adapt to region-specific regulatory demands and consumer preferences. The company faces rising pressure to localize manufacturing, supply chains, and product features in each major market, increasing operational complexity and capital expenditure requirements across continents. Political scrutiny around corporate influence, data privacy for vehicle sensor data, and industrial policy further add uncertainty to long-term global expansion plans. Despite these mounting challenges that point to potential decline pressure, critical strengths remain that prevent Tesla from a straightforward downward trajectory in 2026 and beyond. Its global supercharger network remains the most extensive, reliable, and interoperable fast-charging system in the world, creating an ongoing competitive moat as more EV manufacturers adopt Tesla charging standards globally. Its software ecosystem, continuous over-the-air update capability, and massive real-world driving data collection from millions of vehicles still give it an unmatched edge in refining driver assistance and future autonomous technology. Its brand recognition, global retail footprint, and existing customer base provide stable baseline vehicle sales across major markets. Tesla also retains significant balance sheet strength, flexible capital allocation capacity, and experience navigating market downturns that many newer competitors lack. These strengths allow Tesla to pivot rather than collapse amid market headwinds. What this means for Tesla's future in 2026 is a fundamental shift from high-speed, unconstrained growth to a more balanced, risk-managed phase of corporate evolution. The era of explosive valuation expansion driven purely by EV market growth and unproven autonomous technology promises is ending. Tesla will increasingly focus on margin preservation, operational efficiency, regional market stabilization, and targeted product refinement rather than aggressive global expansion at all costs. It will face ongoing pressure to deliver consistent profits from its core automotive business while proving long-term viability for its energy and autonomous technology divisions. Investor expectations will reset from exponential growth forecasts to realistic sustainable growth trajectories, creating volatility in market sentiment and share price performance. For consumers, investors, industry observers, and competitors, Tesla's shifting trajectory in 2026 signals a broader inflection point for the entire global electric vehicle industry. Tesla no longer exists as a standalone disruptor reshaping the market single-handedly. It now operates as a mature market leader navigating a crowded, regulated, and rapidly evolving industrial landscape. Its rise was defined by bold disruption and untested innovation. Its potential fall, if it unfolds, will stem from failure to adapt to competition, regulatory change, and shifting global consumer needs. Its future success will depend on balancing its historic disruptive spirit with the operational discipline required to sustain a multinational industrial enterprise through decades of energy transition change. Tesla's story is far from over, but its defining growth chapter is entering a new phase in 2026. The strategic shifts unfolding now will determine whether it maintains leadership in the next generation of sustainable mobility and energy technology, or cedes ground to competitors better positioned for the evolving global EV market. If you want to stay ahead of critical corporate shifts, deep dives into major global company trajectories, and long-term industry trend analysis, make sure to subscribe to this channel for continuous coverage of the biggest business stories shaping our global economy.